Construction is set to be completed the second week in February, just in time for the baseball season to begin. Here at the LCRA River Operations Center, meteorologist Bob Rose has concerns on how the recent drought will affect the level of the Highland Lakes. With the U.S. involvement in the Middle East and the number of veterans continuing to rise, it's important that schools such as Travis Elementary learn the value of Veterans Day. With the recent lack of rain, the only water passing through Mansfield Dam is through the generators. And if this trend is to continue, rice farmers downstream are sure to face some difficult times in the coming months. Residents in Galveston and surrounding communities are still picking up the pieces from Hurricane Ike, even a month after the eye came ashore on the eastern tip of Galveston Island. Flags fly proudly in the sky on Galveston Island. Marks of Hurricane Ike's destruction are quite visible to onlookers who stop to check out the damage. Collapsed gas station roofs, blown away signs, twisted metal, and mangled boats are just some of the damage that can be seen to returning residents and cleanup crews. Interstate 45, which links the mainland to the island of Galveston, is a maze of boats that still line both northbound and southbound lanes of the highway. The 18-foot storm surge swept thousands of boats from their docks and slid homes from their foundations. Along the Seawall Boulevard, most residents and businesses were spared catastrophic damage, but had to deal with economic hardships.
The most damage we sustained, the largest damage, was the loss of our employees. Going into the storm, we probably had 250 employees, and coming out of the storm, we probably had 25.
Students at the University of Texas Medical Branch in Galveston had to relocate classes as a result of Hurricane Ike's destruction.
It's changed. I don't have the same job. I moved from the ICU over to an outpatient clinic, and it was several different specialties. Now I'm just cardiology.
Both the west and east ends of Galveston were flooded by massive storm surge, and residents are still dealing with cleaning out their homes.
Wedding presents and stuff, they were all ruined, so it was pretty traumatic that way. And we ripped out all the sheetrock and everything and had to get it dried out and all the mold taken care of.
While local government and Red Cross are bringing by meals and supplies to residents, some of the people are becoming frustrated with the way the recovery process is being handled.
But we move our motorhome in, and they come put a thing on our gate the next day and say it's against city ordinance without a permit.
Cleanup crews from every corner of the country have been working diligently at getting Galveston back on its feet, and best estimates at finishing this task are 6 months to a year. Reporting from Galveston Island, for Bobcat Update, I'm Grant Martin. There's no avoiding it. Central Texas is in another drought. So far this year, the region has received a little less than 15 inches of rain, when normally in a year the area averages 31 inches. December is historically one of the driest months in the San Marcos area, so it doesn't appear much relief is coming. The LCRA is the Lower Colorado River Authority, and one of its main functions is to monitor water releases from area dams. Here at the LCRA River Operations Center, meteorologist Bob Rose has concerns on how the recent drought will affect the level of the Highland Lakes.
When you look at all the tributaries that feed our lakes, the amount of water that came in has now so far been the lowest on record since these dams have been built. That's very significant. It points to how dry this year really was.
Every lake in Central Texas is feeling those effects. Comal County's Canyon Lake is down 10 feet to 899 feet. Lake Buchanan, which normally rests at 1020, is down to 1006. The most shocking of all is Lake Travis, which is currently down 24 feet from its normal elevation of 681. Lake officials are especially concerned with boaters navigating Lake Travis at this level. But lake levels are just one of the many worries the region is facing. In Texas, there are more than 40 counties with burn bans in effect, and almost half are in the Austin metro area. Bastrop, Blanco, Burnet, Caldwell, Hayes, Llano, Travis, and Williamson counties have enforced burn bans for most of this year. San Marcos officials are also concerned about the threat of fires spreading quickly anytime a cold front moves through. LCRA officials are on high alert.
One thing we're very concerned about in this part of Austin in particular is that where we, like around Westlake Hills, we have a lot of hills there, and a lot of homes are built into the hills. They have a lot of cedar trees, they have a lot of brush that comes up very close to the homes. This creates an extremely high fire danger.
Meteorologists categorize the current drought as extreme. This has been the driest year since 1963, and forecasters can't say when it's likely to end.
But at the end of this year, our lakes are only going to be 65% full, and we'll go into next season with that kind of deficit. So we are worried about the future demands and what it might do to our lake levels.
Agricultural interests are also being threatened by the drought. Many people depend on the rain as a means of cultivating their crop.
They face the possibility of not having all the water they need to supply one or both of their crops next year.
With the recent lack of rain, the only water passing through Mansfield Dam is through the generators. And if this trend is to continue, rice farmers downstream are sure to face some difficult times in the coming months. Reporting from Mansfield Dam on Lake Travis, for Bobcat Update, I'm Grant Martin. Bobcat Build is holding its first annual reception and silent auction on November 13th. The auction serves as a primary fundraising for the main community service event, which is in April. Last year, over 3,200 students and volunteers participated in Bobcat Build, which reached out to the local community. This year, the reception will be held at the Hill Country Event Center off Center Point Road in San Marcos, and the auction will begin at 8 p.m. President Denise Trouth and State Representative Patrick Rose will be in attendance to promote the event.